Come on.
Yay!
Woo!
We're live.
Yeah.
Dave, I'm very, very excited about today's episode, and I know that surprises you.
No,
because I don't
not
usually
at all.
get excited. Hey, so today, welcome to the AutoAuthorities Podcast. My name is Jay Grossman. I'm the founder and CEO of iAutoAgent, and this is Mr.
David Marks with Quality Auto STL, home of trusted services with no surprises.
Today, we are talking about the insider secrets on how to get top dollar for your trade. We are got some golden nuggets for you. And are you ready to do this, buddy?
Absolutely.
Let's do it. We'll be back in 2 seconds. Have you ever felt like you were taken for a ride when buying, selling, or repairing your car? Well, not anymore. I'm Jay.
And I'm Dave.
And this is the podcast that tells you what to watch out for, whether you're buying, selling,
or repairing your car.
With 47 years of automotive experience, we are the Automotive Authorities. This podcast is sponsored by iAutoAgent. We're real estate agents for cars.
And Quality Auto STL, trusted services with no surprises.
And we're back.
Woo!
All right, everybody ready to hear this today? We're going to have talking about insider secrets on how to get top dollar for your trade-in. And whether you are trading anything now or selling anything now, this is good information, and you're going to hang on to it because this stuff doesn't get outdated. And today I wanted to also thank our sponsor, Techie Tony,
Yep.
Techie Tony Media. He makes all this beautiful stuff happen. And a shout out to Techie Tony Media. And I wanted to let you know, Dave, guess who was at my house today?
One of the news stations, because I know they all love it.
Oh, you knew about it. So,
Well, I didn't say which one.
I'm an automotive advisor on Fox 2 News, and they called me today. Guess what they called me about?
The chip shortage.
See, you're giving everything away.
They
So
watch
we did
the
it.
podcast, so they know they got to call you.
They do. They like, hey, we want to get an interview with Jay Grossman.
Absolutely.
So it was just awesome. And that kind of leads into what we're going to talk about today. The chip shortage has created this massive, massive supply and demand problem. And if you're looking to sell a car right now, you could get top dollar for it, but you must listen because we have these special golden nuggets that we are going to be sharing with you to make sure that you do it the right way. Dave, have you ever heard of a saying, don't jump over dollars to save pennies?
No, never.
Never. Have you ever had anybody ever say to you, I want the least amount of money for my car, and I would like it. I would love to wait for the money too. How about that? I want the least amount of money for my car, and I'd like to wait for my money as long as possible.
That sounds like me.
It's probably never happened before. So what we're going to talk about is how people every day, they jump over dollars to save pennies. And we talk about selling your car. And you know my company, iAutoAgent.com. You can sell your car with us. You get top dollar. You're going to get more than selling it on your own, taking it to the dealer. And we do it all for you. But you know what we see every day is people making massive mistakes. And we're going to share with you today, for all the listeners, all the mistakes people make that I would say, Dave, out of all the different things we're going to talk about today, it would add up to thousands of dollars lost if they don't.
Absolutely.
So like in your experience, Dave, like what are some of the things that you think that people should do, the very first thing that people should do? I'm just curious.
Well, I think it depends on what level of car it is. You know,
Okay.
like I sell a lot of $3,000 to $6,000 cars. That's my wheels. That's my niche. So cosmetics isn't as much of an issue
True.
as is, you know, how are the tires, how are the brakes, you know, has the oil been kept up, you know, the major stuff. That's what people look for. You know, when you're talking a $4,000 car, Just if it's got a dent, ding, scratch, the seat's torn, who cares? Well, give me from point A to point B. That's what's most important. So getting the oil change, are the brakes good? How are the tires?
Right.
Those sort of things. Now, your levels, it's a different animal.
Well, I'm gonna use an example because obviously our tagline is "We are real estate agents for cars." That's what we are. And think about it this way, Dave. Have you ever sold a house before?
No, actually, I haven't. I've bought one house and I've been in it now for 13 years.
So I've had, I think we're on our 6th house since 1998. I kid you not. But when the real estate agent says to me, "Hey, you might want to fix the hole in the wall," I exaggeration, right?
Yeah.
But truly, people try to sell things and they don't realize the money that it's going to cost them if they don't fix the stuff. And I want to talk about some very simple things. And I think the number one thing that you can do to your car, well, you know what? I'm going to save that one so everybody listens to the end. I'm going to save the number one thing. But let's talk about the things that people look at. What's the first thing that people see when they're looking at your car? Do you know what it is?
I would think the windshield, just the overall body. Or the tires and wheels.
The tires. When people, you ever heard the term tire kickers?
Oh yeah, I've seen plenty of them in my day. I can pick them out before they walk into my front door.
Tire kickers are people that walk around and look for cars and they kick your tires. And it's kind of a joke because tire kickers don't usually want to buy a car. They just go around and kick tires all day.
No, they're a pain in the ass.
But in all seriousness, when somebody has a vehicle, let's say it's an SUV, let's say it's a newer one, because just like you said, the older the vehicle, some of those things don't matter as much. And they choose not to replace the tires. And we've talked about this before. To replace a set of tires, let's just say on an SUV, would I be right to saying it's probably somewhere around 900 to 1,000 for a decent set of tires?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I'd say that 8 to 1,000 just depends on the size. But yeah, you're in the ballpark, absolutely.
All right, so let's just use that as an example. When people are looking at your car and you're taking pictures of it and you're putting it on the internet, and I'm talking about dealers too. Okay, this is not just selling a car on your own. This is trading your car in, taking it to the dealer, taking it to AutoAuthorities, and you don't put new tires on the vehicle. The people look at that as a 2 to 3 times the cost of what it really is going to cost you. So if it's going to cost you, say, $1,000, they're figuring they're going to offer you 3 times less for your car, because in their mind, that's a $3,000 repair. And I'm going to give you another example. We have a vehicle right now that the lady, this is Bobby's mom.
What, is Guido on this episode?
Well, Guido will come into it in a second here. But basically, Bobby's mom had an Acura MDX. It's a 2014. And they decided not to, and this is a true story. It's a vehicle that we have right now. Decided not to fix a simple mark on the bumper. Now, this is a family vehicle. The person that's going to buy this vehicle is probably going to drive around their family in it. And it's such a simple fix. It's under a $500 fix, refusing to do it. And here's the problem.
14 Acura MDX. It's a 14 Acura MDX.
Yep.
What is that? A $20,000 SUV off the top of my head?
Yeah. That's right. That's about what it's worth.
People expect that not to be there.
Exactly. So we had multiple showings on it, but the lady wouldn't listen to us to fix the bumper. Now we finally like said, okay, fine. You don't want to fix the bumper. We wound up finding a cash buyer for the vehicle. And it's just not a good ending when you don't listen to experts like us. We do this every day.
Sure.
You know what's another thing that, I'm going to save that one. But let's talk about, how much money now that she's lost. She's going to probably lose about $2,000. probably because she chose not to fix the bumper for $500. So if you have like an upper end SUV and you're not fixing that stuff before you take it to the dealer, you're going to get nailed more than that. And dealers don't care because they're going to go ahead and fix it anyway.
They can do that in house. Some also have body shops, or they work.
Yeah, they're going to do it in house.
Yeah,
but they're going to use that against you. Here's another thing. What about curbed wheels?
Oh, on that level of car? Well, on that level of car, Jay, the people want a move-in ready house. People want a move-in ready car. It's no
yes. What a
stuff.
Great analogy.
They want that stuff fixed. In their eyes, that's a blemish. Well, I'm buying this. I don't, that level. 3 to 6, they don't care about that stuff. You get over $6,000, Jay. That's where I see people start looking at nitpicking the body. Literally, That's the magic number.
So sticking with the body, and I'm gonna go with the wheels this time because we just had a client,
mutual friend of ours.
That's a friend of ours. He didn't fix the wheels, and every time we would do the showing on the vehicle, people were like, "Oh, yeah, the wheels aren't going to be fixed." They're like, "Well, what if we fix it for you?" "No, we'll give you." We literally had somebody offer us $2,000 less for the vehicle, and of course, our client's not going to want to do that. But what we did is we made the smart move, and he did too. He finally listened to us, and we're like, "Listen, we can get these wheels fixed for." Typically they're between $200 to $250 to fix one wheel. So for about $800, you can have the wheels look brand new. Dave, the moment that we did that, the thing flew out of there.
Well, yeah, it's a 16 Honda Pilot. Yeah, what is that, a $25,000 SUV?
Yeah, so it's a 16 Honda Pilot. Yep, that's about right. And it was a beautiful vehicle. It had low miles. Everything was perfect about it, except for the wheels. And this is just simply cosmetic. But when people see that, they start getting in their head, "Oh, well, you know what? If they didn't take care of that, maybe they didn't take care of the rest of the vehicle." Which leads to the service records. Dave, when you're like working on people's vehicles at your shop, when you are done with the vehicle, do you give them the records?
Yeah, absolutely. We print it. We ask them, "Hey, how would you like? We print it, or we can email it to them." But yeah, I got them all. I got all the records here. I got everything back to day one, which is 11 years now.
So here's a very big golden nugget. Dave keeps every record of all of his clients' vehicles. Even if you don't save the records, which you should, but if you don't, and Mr. David Marks with Quality Auto STL plug is working on your vehicle, then you can just call him and you can use that to your advantage.
Absolutely.
Everybody.
Another thing, because my records aren't on Carfax. The POS system I use, Mitchell One, to my knowledge, they don't report to
POS
Carfax.
stands for what?
Point of
we
sale.
all know what POS stands for.
Well, point of sale.
Oh, point of sale. Okay. Because
I work in the business world. I know what you mean. Yeah,
when you said POS, people might be thinking something else.
No,
I don't know if we cuss on this. I can't remember.
Oh, I have a few times. I can't remember myself.
Hold your ears, kids.
Yeah.
David uses a POS system. So here's the thing. Let's just go back. We talked about bumpers. We talked about wheels. We talked about service records. Those service records are the most important because if you can go to anybody, whether you're selling your car through iAutoAgent, whether you're selling the car on your own, whether you're trading it into a dealer, you can say, "Hey, here are all my service records," and put them into like a little book or something. Like that's worth $1 million.
Oh, it's worth gold. People love it. People love it. When you can show them a stack of, especially all the oil changes, you have done the oil changes. Here's when we did this. Here's when we did that.
Yeah.
Yeah. People love it.
And it's just like if you go to the doctor, right? The doctor always keeps records and you're going to want to know the records.
Yeah.
But how crazy would it be like if you had like certain things done and you weren't able to like pull that up? Now, obviously you're not selling yourself.
Right.
Not most people.
Hopefully not.
Right. But it's the same type of thing. When you go to Dave, it's like going to the doctor. You get records. And when you can present those records, it's worth more money.
Yeah, absolutely. To me, it is. That's why I like, when I buy cars for my customers, I know the history about it. I know exactly what I'm buying.
Well, here's a great scenario. And I know we talked about this a little bit, but let's talk about this a little bit more. If you have, say, let's say you have a vehicle that is a 2013 Ford F-150 with 132,000 miles. Okay. It's okay if the thing's beat up a little bit. It's okay. It's to be expected. But if you have a 2019 or 2020 Ford F-150 with 13,000 miles, you better darn well make sure that you have a pretty close to a brand new car. Because that's what people are going to expect. And the other piece too is that when you are looking at cars, here's another way to get top dollar for your vehicle. Look around out there on the market to see how many vehicles are available like your vehicle. So I'll ask you a question, Dave. If you have, say, a 2010 Camaro SS with 22,000 miles, which we have right now, we were in the process of selling, or you have a 2017 Camaro SS with 60,000 miles, which one could demand, not necessarily it's going to be a higher price, but which one's more
desirable?
Desirable, yeah.
I'm going to say the 2017 because it's newer.
No, it's the 2010, and here's why. Because how many 2010 SS Camaros are out there with 22,000 miles?
That's the first year the GM reintroduced the fourth generation Camaro, correct? Was that the first model year? Was 2010 the first year for the fourth generation?
So 2010 is actually the very first year that vehicle came back out. Yes.
Yeah, because Camaros only had 4 generations of Camaros.
Yeah, they stopped making it for a while, so that was the very first year.
2004 was the last year, by the way, for those of you that really want to care.
It's such a rare car to find something with low miles. But we've talked about this before.
See, to me, though, when I look at miles, the worst thing you can do to a car is let it sit.
Yeah.
That's why I said, to me, I'd rather take the 17 with 60. I know it's been driven. 2010, how long has it sat for 2 years and not moved? That's just the way I look at that. I would
very interesting. 17. Yep. So here's the reality, and we're gonna get to the number one thing that you can do here pretty soon, and I want to save that for last. But Dave, you are exactly right. Like when a car sits, it's not good. But when people are looking through all the listings, here's the psychology behind it. Number one, the first thing they look at is
miles.
No, price.
Oh.
Second thing,
miles.
Now say it.
Miles.
Yes.
Okay.
Right. So we got price, miles. Do you know what the third thing that people look at?
Pictures.
Yeah. Well, they've already seen the pictures.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's who's selling it.
Oh yeah. Duh.
So, well, I mean, here,
I don't go out looking. I mean, I look for cars a different way than your average Joe.
But this is the psychology of selling the cars. So if they're looking at the place that they're buying it from, whether it be a dealer, whether it be, Guido's, Honest Abe car lot, or they're buying it from Auto Agent with amazing reviews, or they're buying it from a private owner, which people don't trust private owners. In Missouri, It's buyer beware.
I've heard horror stories about people buying off Marketplace.
Yeah, and be careful too, because some of these private owners are not private owners that you see.
Owners.
That's exactly right. They go to the free sites where they don't have to pay, and they can just load up all their cars on there, and it doesn't cost them anything. So you have to. So anyway, I know I got off the topic a little bit, but low miles doesn't always mean better, but I hate to say that it will sell faster.
No, I agree. But for me, no, because that means the car's sat, and I know that's one of the worst things you can do.
Yes. So we're going to go to the second to the last, There's something called PDR. Do you know what that means?
Paintless debt removal.
Right. So there's probably not a whole lot of people out there that don't have a single ding in their car. Most people do. It's just going to happen. It's part of wear and tear. But these dings can be taken out for pennies on the dollar. So one of the things that we've done at our company is we've really connected with the top companies out there that do all these services. So like if somebody needs something done, they can come to iAutoAgent. We can get it done for them at a lesser of cost. And these companies, we come to you for everything. So we connect with the companies where you're not having to drive the vehicle anywhere. Everything's come to you.
Sure.
But what I see every day is these little dings that people are like, I don't know if I want to spend the money to take it out. To get these dings out, you can get several dings out for probably under $200. It's not very expensive. And, like as we sit there and add all this stuff up, if you have a scuff on a bumper, you could probably get it done for under $500.
A lot of times the same person that does the PDR can do that.
Right. Exactly. And so it's so important to know these types of things because these things are going to help you, whether you sell it on your own, whether you go to iAutoAgent, whether you go to the dealer, whatever it is. So do you know what the number one thing that I see people jumping over dollars to save pennies on? What would you guess? I think you may already know the answer though.
Detailing.
A detail. And so what a detail is it's not a waterway car wash. Okay? A detail is having a professional company either come out to your house or work or bringing it to them. That's another thing that we offer is detailing services that, number one, they shampoo the carpets because when people are looking at pictures, they're looking at the carpets. And if you have crumbs or in your cup holders, you have little sticky stuff, people see that and they just get turned off by it.
And they go look at their car. That's what their car looks like.
Smoke in your car.
Oh, that question used to come up all the time.
Yeah.
Has anybody smoked it? Has anybody smoked it? Because no, I mean, and you can't really ever get that out 100%. You can mask it, but
that's so true. And you can't. Smoke smells there forever. You can make it better, but it's never going to go away.
You can mask it, but that's just a temporary.
It's just like if you smoke inside your house. I remember we bought a house and these people smoked inside the house and they had wallpaper all over their house. We literally had to pull all the wallpaper down and it still smelled. So you had to seal all the paint. It's the same thing with your car. Don't smoke in your car. If you're going to smoke, step outside your car or wait or get one of those vape things because that's not going to make it smell. Yeah. Here's the other thing. A detail has to be the things important for a detail is interior shampooed. The car needs to be waxed. And most people don't know this, but the motor should be detailed.
See, now what I don't clean the engines, and here's why, is I want people to see it how I got it. I ain't trying to cover nothing up.
I think you're right to a certain extent. What we do in iAutoAgent is when we send out the independent mechanical inspector, we have them inspect the car in its raw and natural state so you can see leaks. Because if the engine is cleaned, it definitely can cover leaks up, and that is very, very true.
If the engine's clean, that tells me right away this thing was maintained. Because if you want to keep an engine clean, keep the fluids clean.
That's what people are. Yes, but you're right. And that's what people are thinking when they're looking online and they're looking at your photos. If that engine is cleaned, oh my goodness, it's going to be like, I've had people say, oh my gosh, I looked at this car and you can like eat off the engine. And I'm like, yeah, but you probably wouldn't have you would have wanted to see the car when it came in its raw and natural state.
For sure.
And ever since we decided to start having our vehicles professionally detailed, well, I should say it's really up to the client if they want to do the detail or not. But ever since people started accepting that, oh my gosh, cars sell so much faster.
Sure. I think at your level, that's what people expect. The 3 to 6, people are looking. That helps me sell. Hey, this is how I got it. What you see is what you get. I ain't trying to hide nothing.
Yeah, absolutely. So if I could just give one piece of advice to anybody that's listening, if you're not going to do any of the other things, if you're not going to fix your bumper, if you're not going to fix your wheels, if you're not going to, what's the other things? Do dent removal. You're not going to put tires on that vehicle. Spend the money for professional detail. It is well worth it.
People want to buy a nice, new, clean car. And it don't matter what the price. Even at the $4,000 level, when they're clean, spotless, people love it. That's what people want. Because to them, it's new.
That's exactly right. And so how can I put this in the most politically correct way? What you think people aren't going to want to see because you don't think it's worth anything, think again, because your junk is somebody else's treasures.
Yeah, no, one man's trash is another man's gold.
Yeah, exactly. And you just never know what people will buy.
No, you don't.
I mean, just taking that step, Dave,
no, I agree.
And just to reiterate, really get those service records if you can, because it's going to be so much more an advantage to you. Again, whether you're selling through a dealership, whether you're selling from a private owner, whether you're selling through iAutoAgent, it just doesn't matter. I mean, I really think we covered a lot. And I think that the last thing I want to talk about real quick too is this. If you are going to trade your vehicle in, I want you to look at iAutoAgent to sell your vehicle. And most importantly, if you are going to trade it, make it 2 separate deals. Get the price on the vehicle that you're buying. Get the price on your trade, because your trade's worth more sometimes than what you think it is. And right now with this chip shortage and the demand out there is huge. So I can't stress it enough. In fact, we talked about service records and stuff, Dave. What do you think would be a good topic to talk about for our next meeting or our next episode?
We've talked about, how to find a good reputable dealer to buy from in the event that they decide not to use iAutoAgent.
Right.
And I think the same thing can be said about finding a good repair facility. This is the things you should look for to sell. Yep. Is this repair facility honest, or am I going to get taken advantage of?
Yeah, I think that's so well put, Dave. Anytime I refer people to you and your company at Quality Auto STL, I just tell them Dave's honest. He's going to tell you the straight scoop. And how do you really know, if you don't have a mechanic that you trust, how can you find out who is going to be an honest repair shop? Maybe you just moved here. Dave is going to let you know. He's the expert, everybody. I think that's an incredible topic, Dave. I think that people are going to get a lot out of it. Let's talk about that next week.
Absolutely.
And what I really want to thank, again, is our sponsor, Techie Tony, with Techie Tony Media, that makes this whole stuff happen. And the other thing is please like and subscribe and share this with others. We do this raw and uncut. This is unedited. We do not plan for this. We come up with a topic that people want to hear about, and we provide what you want to hear. All these topics are people that have contacted us. This is what people want to hear about. The more and more that you want to hear about things on all the sites that you are, please leave in the comments if there are topics that you want to hear about. We want to say these things on the air, and we want to teach you. We want to teach you the right ways of doing things. The internet is a bunch of garbage. And we sift through that garbage for you and give you stuff that's raw and uncut.
Sure.
So I'm really excited about our next episode. I hope everybody got a lot out of today. And the moral of the story is if you don't pay for a detail, you're going to cost yourself probably 4 times the amount it will cost you.
Yep. You're going to pay for it all right.
That's right. Again, my name's Jay Grossman. I'm the founder and CEO of AutoAgent.com. And this is Mr.
David Marks with Quality Auto STL. Trusted services with no surprises.
All right. We'll see you in the next episode. Peace.
All righty. Take care, everybody.